shut her down. But what I had to do was I had to go out and make a couple passes on my end rows to take out my marks that I left in the field. When I turn around, I like to lift my implement up and out of the ground as I'm working ground. So some people like to leave the implement in the ground and kind of just feather it, but to me it doesn't hurt to go around your end rows a couple times to help take out the weeds. That's where they usually start. Follow me and we'll get the seed tender out. All right, folks, we got to back the seed tender out with the 722 cylinder. For all you Johnny Two Popper fans. Give her a little choke. Alright, we had to shut her down. Shut her down, I mean. Sometimes the hand signals can be a little confusing when you're in a hurry trying to get to the field. probably why my knees hurt. Okay, before I start this all up, I have to hook up my little remote button. Sometimes you feel like a NASCAR pit crew trying to get things going when you're in a hurry planting. You're just kind of anxious and excited and happy and overwhelming, and it's just the fun time of year. I like the springtime. So when things are blooming, winter's over, sunny weather's here. It's neat to watch things grow after you plant them. All you want to do is plant, be in the tractor. Got to tie these up when you go down the road. Make sure these don't fall and drag behind and get caught underneath the wagon wheel, and then things will not be good. So, I believe the hose with the wire goes on the top. Oh, in the dirt it goes. Sometimes you gotta relieve the pressure on these. You gotta relieve the pressure off of these hoses in order for them to get hooked up. Sometimes they just want to be difficult. Something tells me that one's not quite in all the way, and it's not. Sometimes you just gotta wipe the dirt off, and well, that's what your work shirts are for, and you ain't got a paper towel. Maybe run this lever back and forth. I don't know why it's not cooperating. Probably because I'm in a hurry and I want to get to the field. That's probably a good reason why. There we go. Back in the dirt it goes. A little rag washing. There we go. Yep. There we go. Just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. That was easy. Plug in your electrical for your little button here. Mark this open a little bit. Not a lot. Doesn't need to be open a lot. Okay. Brake is set. It's in neutral. Clutch. Probably should have filled this up with gas. Safety chain. Good thing this is on because it needed it. By the time I got home, this bracket was off. to reset the depth on my planter too. So this is a lot easier than toting bags, believe me. Them bags of beans can be either from 50 pounds to 80 pounds. I should have 120 bags, which would be 3 box units inside this wagon. And then you have to get rid of the bags, of course. So sometimes what I like to do when I used to use the bags was I'd sit here and burn them. And then on a windy day, you gotta be careful, and might start the ditch on fire or something like that. It's just a lot easier with a seed tender. And the pink stuff that you see on these beans, it's a fungicide treatment, which helps with the beans with fungicide, and of course in damp, wet, cold conditions. But we really don't have that right now. But don't breathe it in. Probably should have a mask, but always make sure you got your PPEs on too. Okay, so it took me a while to find the field on my ag leader. And I don't use the auto steer to go around the fence line. So I like to use my markers. This is a different variety, so I might have to change my population and my depth setting because we're in a different field. So it looks like my population is pretty high. So I'm going to drop it down one setting on the planter. So I have to get out and reset the transmission on the planter, and I'm going to check my depth. So we're going to check our depth. I like to plant about an inch and a quarter maybe. Yeah, that looks a little too deep. I gotta hold the phone and dig down. So yep, I'm gonna raise the depth on the planter. Of course, I'll double check once I get going back and forth through the field, because the end rows can be a little deceiving. So that don't look bad there, of course. Maybe I'll just leave my depth for now and wait till I get going back and forth through the field, because end rows can be a little compact. So I have to change this chain to different gears in order to get your different setting. And of course, I have no planter book in the tractor. For some reason I took it out, so which means I have to walk back down to get all red, up in all red, go back to the shop and get back here with the planter book. So I got along the fence in this field, and we'll go back around. See, I like to put 3 rounds on my end rows before I start going back and forth. So I gotta finish these end rows first, and I'll get back to you. Okay, getting ready to set my AB line. That's how you set your auto steer to go back and forth across the field. I got my end rows done. I know I said I like to make 3 rounds on my end rows. Well, I was wrong. I like to make 2. That gives me 80 feet on my end rows to turn around. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. Let's see. That should get my A-line set. Yep, there's the dot on the screen. I actually reset my population again at the other end when I was doing my end rows. Yeah, I'm still planting a little thick, but that's all right. I'd rather be a little thick than thin. So my AB line should be set. We'll see what happens. Hang on, kids. So there we have it. I did get it right. I got my AB line set. The auto steering is on. Now all I have to do is watch my monitor, watch my planner. I have a camera set up to where I can watch my transmission on the planner, make sure my chain is going around nice and smooth. Only have one camera. So, yeah. I hope you like this video, and if you do, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.